Hello, everyone. Welcome to Survival Jobs, a podcast in collaboration with BroadwayWorld. I am Jason A. Coombs, and this is my amazing, beautiful co-hostess with the mostest, Samantha Tuozzolo. And Sam, before we begin, I just want to remind everyone that we are streaming audio on all podcast platforms, or you can watch our exclusive video here on BroadwayWorld, if that wasn't clear. How you doing, girl?
Hi, Jason. Happy Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day. Those of you who are hearing this on Thursday, we are recording from the past, and it is Valentine's Day. And on the video, I have this fun little T-shirt.
That's so cute. It's a little blurry, but it's so cute.
It says, what does it say? I killed Cupid in self-defense.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm sporting my hot pink beanie for two reasons. A, Valentine's Day. B, today our guest, which we'll talk about later after we gab a little, but our guest, Jordan, is from Bad Cinderella, and they're always like sporting hot pink and black. So I was trying to stay on theme. I was trying to be on brand.
You were. You're on brand.
Thank you so much. What's your temperature check?
Oh, my temperature check. I am, let's see. I was going to say I'm tired, but I feel like that's always my temperature check. No, I mean, we just recorded with Jordan. I'm feeling so inspired. I know we always say that when we have a guest, but just his warmth and his energy and his just the way he was just so free and loving and open was just so infectious. And I'm feeling that. That definitely came through our Zoom StreamYard screens for me. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling rejuvenated and so excited for this Valentine's Day. Thank you, Jordan. And you, Samantha. That hot pink, looking fierce. Definitely giving me energy.
I'm just thanking the Bad Cinderella, marketing team for making this the color. Every time, shout out to past guests. Yeah, shout out to past guest Lynady, which I think it's so cool that we had the princess and now we have the prince. Because Jordan is playing the Prince Sebastian, and Lynady is literally playing Cinderella, Bad Cinderella. So we had the prince and princess. But every time I see this girl killing it, always, like doing any sort of press for the show, she is in hot pink. And so I found this hat in my closet today, and I was like, oh, I'm wearing a hat for this whole interview just to stay on brand. And I was like, oh my God, it's also Valentine's Day. So I'm also, repping the pink.
Repping the pink. Love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Speaking of the show and Lynady, this new single that came out, my God. Wait, I just had the name up and now I've lost it. What is it called? You just had it. Wait.
Yep, I know I have a heart.
I know I have a heart because you broke it. There's my very off key. But Lynady, y'all, slays this single. It's on Spotify.
You slayed it.
That little clip I just did?
Vocals. Yeah.
Thank you. Sometimes I come through with the vocals, but that was like not even any sort of pitch. But that's just where I'm at. No pitch Tuesday. But yes. No pitch Tuesday. So I listened to this single like on repeat because I'm just so in awe of her. She's so open on Instagram too about this whole process. And she's like talking about her imposter syndrome and like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Like what's happening? Like this is a crazy process. And so always we knew she's going to kill this and be amazing. But to hear that, I was just feeling such a sense of pride for her and so happy for her. And I cannot wait to see what happens when this show opens. Not only her and Jordan, these two people. So we met Jordan for the first time today. What a nice, genuine human. And I said to him, I can just feel your nice energy coming through the screen. And it's so true when you say good things happen to good people. These two people are so good. And like this show I feel is going to be iconic and such a marker in history for Broadway. So in conclusion, everyone, this episode's coming out on Thursday, Thursday, February 16th. And the first preview of Bad Cinderella is Friday, February 17th. So hey, people, get your tickets, figure out a
Yeah.
way to get your body over to the Imperial Theatre and check it out. Jason and I will be doing the
Yes.
same. So follow in our lead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to read too much because we always do research on our guests, but I was like, I don't want to spoil anything about this show because, like, I want to see the show without being spoiled. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a little quick peek at the cast list. I'm take a very quick summary. I listen to the single. So yeah, I'm excited to actually go and see it when it happens and to talk about it more with everybody and to see like I talk about with Jordan. There's so many like people of color in the cast, and that's really really exciting. We need more and more and more on Broadway. So there we go.
Especially, having such a diverse class, such a diverse cast in
Hmm.
a fairy tale that traditionally until we talked about like the Brandy Cinderella, you saw
Yes.
mostly, white actors portraying or white
Hmm.
cartoons. So to have this come in, with this amazing diverse cast with this amazing talent, I think is going to be so amazing. And especially for little kids too, to be like, oh,
Of
I'm
course.
a young Black boy and look at that. I am the prince,
Hmm.
you
Like
know?
this representation is so important, and I feel like I love that this production is kind of following in the lead of the foundation that the Brandy, Whitney Houston, Paulo Montalban that we talked about in the episode foundation like led, seeing an Asian prince and a black princess and a black queen, Whoopi Goldberg, the black queen, like how magical is that? And see that continue on, 25 years later? It's pretty incredible. You
Oh
want to talk
yeah,
about Jordan?
I do. I do. I know we already gushed over him at the beginning of this little mic check, but you guys, this is a really good episode and we're so happy, the timing that it's coming out. So everyone go get your
Mhm.
tickets. Jordan is just a gem, a peach, a talent, like genuine. And it's so refreshing. All of our guests are amazing, by the way, but it's so refreshing
Mhm.
when we have these interviews where we're just so vulnerable, open,
Mm.
honest about everything because you guys will hear. So I'm not going to like recap the episode too much, but it's so important to be honest when you're at a level in this industry and when you're not, because so many
Mm.
people want this goal and this dream, and it's not all roses.
Yeah,
Roses
not
for
all
Valentine's
rainbows
Day.
and butterflies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important to hear that because I feel like, people have this idea of like when you get to a certain level of success, like all your problems are gone or like everything is great, everything is just like perfect. But, you know, the more we talk to different people and the more you just realize like that's not always true. Like everyone has their struggles, everyone has there are times when they're feeling up, when they're feeling down, no matter what level you're on. It's like we're all human at the end of the day, and we're all going through stuff and trying to figure it out. And community, mentorship, allyship is so important to keeping people uplifted. So love that we talked about that as well in this episode.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Okay.
great. And this
So,
really quickly also,
yes.
just we did have a little bit of a little technical issue, so you might hear a little fuzziness coming through, so forgive us. I know it doesn't seem like we're still in a pandemic, but we aren't able to record in person still. So forgive us if we hear anything that doesn't sound 100%.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you
On that
off.
note.
And
No, I cut you off all of the time. Not
no, actually,
intentionally.
one point there, one point in an interview, I was giving you time to talk, and then you didn't. And I was like, oh, well, oops, okay, I'll
Because
jump in.
you know what? I feel like that happens like when I do like go on mute and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna speak. Then you do that there's like a pause. And then
Yeah, I'm always like, yeah.
yeah, then when you're speaking, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So it's funny. We'll figure it out
Yeah,
one day after episode, what is this,
maybe.
64?
Well, maybe we'll get to be back in person. I mean, not back if we never actually done this podcast in person. Maybe one day we'll get to be in person with guests.
Wow.
Maybe
Maybe
season
one day.
3. We don't know. We don't know. Some things are in the works. So
Maybe
yeah, a little
one day.
teaser.
Yeah, because then
Yeah.
we'll be able to feel each other's like energy a bit better of like the flow of interview versus virtual. It's kind of hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to like look at you and the guest and the interview questions
And the
and figure out.
questions.
Yeah. But you know what, guys? We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, it's like the Mariah Carey. You ever seen the Mariah Carey video when she's
No.
like drunk on stage and she's like,
I'll do the best I can with what I got.
she's like wasted. It's great. And she's like, I'm doing the best I can with what I got. And she's like yelling at the audience.
That's
I
how
gotta
I
find it
feel.
now.
That's how I feel. Okay. Anyway, back to Jordan Dobson. Jordan Dobson, who is currently playing Prince Sebastian in Bad Cinderella on Broadway. Some of his other Broadway credits include Hadestown as Orpheus, a beautiful, a beautiful noise as Shiloh in the original Broadway cast, and West Side Story as Tony. Some select regional credits include Austin's Pride, Into the Woods, both at ACT of Connecticut, which shout out Connecticut. We love Connecticut.
Yeah.
And shout out to ACT, by the way. Sorry to sidetrack. ACT is a very beautiful theater in Connecticut. If you guys are in the Connecticut area and can go support, it's a really great space. Other regional credits include The Wanderer at Paper Mill Playhouse, Cabaret, Gypsy at Arden Theater Company, The Color Purple at Theater Horizon. So, upcoming film credit includes William in Netflix Maestro, directed by Bradley Cooper. That's pretty Broadway.
Fire, yeah. Tell me something, girl. Isn't that
Wow,
Bradley
we
Cooper?
both had some good notes today. Keep it going, Jason.
No.
Okay, that was nice.
I don't want the Lady Gaga fans to get mad at me.
To come for you.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, enjoy this episode, you guys, and go see Bad Cinderella.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, Jordan. Congrats on Bad Cinderella, starting previews this Friday at the Imperial Theatre.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
We are super excited as well. Mm-hmm. By the way, we're also so happy because you're playing Prince Sebastian in Bad Cinderella. And we've already had your princess on the show. So now we've had the prince and princess.
Yes, Linetti.
We had her like a full year ago. So I think it's like awesome.
Which is so wild.
Yeah.
And I guess like right. Or before she even was announced for Cinderella, right?
Yes. Before it was announced, but then come to find out she had known. So she was like keeping the secret during the interview, which no sense. She did not let it slip.
We both knew for like almost a year before it was announced, and then we were just like sitting on the secret for so long.
Oh my God.
Kind of wild.
That's such a hard secret to keep. Good job.
It is. Right? I was not the best at it. She was better than I was. So.
Well, we're definitely going to talk a lot about Bad Cinderella as we get in. And by the way, not to make it about me, but guys, I'm in full hot pink. That's the Bad Cinderella vibe. So I just wanted to come in the vibe for you, Jordan.
Yes, and you look great. I love the hot pink.
Thank you. But before we talk about all of the performance things and all of the Bad Cinderella things, let's talk a little bit about survival jobs.
Yes.
So to kick it off, why do you think there's like a judgment around the term survival job and artists doing it? And where do you think that judgment comes from? If you think it does.
Yeah, I think there is a judgment, and I think it comes from privilege of those who don't have to have a survival job, or those who do not or have a job that is their career and aren't going after something risky, like the arts, and they say like, oh, you'll be a starving artist or things like that, or even within the arts community, those who don't need that financial support. I think there is some judgment that comes from that, which I think your podcast is definitely dissipating that and shining light on the fact that we all, so many of us have survival jobs and continue to have them even after, being on Broadway or before, whatever that journey is. So, yeah.
That's so true. Like, we've had so many guests who've been on Broadway, and then their show ends, and then they have to go back to a survival job, and then they book something else. It's just part of some of our journeys, in a way.
Totally, yeah.
Do you have a favorite survival job?
Oh,
in your
yeah, I
past?
guess. Yeah, my favorite. I've had two since moving to New York. Um, I once was a roommate matchmaker, which
That
is
What?
sounds so
basically
fun. Wait, it's like Valentine's Day. You're a matchmaker for roommates? That's so
for
cute.
roommates, which I thought I would just be like, oh, there's an apartment and this roommate would be good with this one. And like their bios seem like they're both, like computer engineers, like they're going to be great roommates together. No, I was basically like a real estate agent without a license. And
I'm
I
dead.
was not ready for what I was getting into. Like I was like showing people apartments. I was like, yeah, this is a 6 bedroom, 2 bath, like, and had no clue what I was talking about. They were
Oh
like,
my
are utilities
god.
included? And I'd be like, let's circle back to that. Like I had no clue. I
But
didn't
you
know what
didn't
I was
lie, so
doing.
that's good.
Right. Where I did lie sometimes, which is so terrible, is in actually my favorite survival job where I was a waiter at this restaurant and I was just really bad at it. Like I would mess up orders all the time and I don't know, but I loved the job because I could just like talk to people and get to know people.
Yeah.
But I would mess up all the time, and then I always lied about when people would order cappuccinos because you would have to stop everything you're doing. All of your
Oh
tables would be
no.
on hold for you to make a cappuccino, and I was bad at it. I couldn't get the milk to foam, so I would lie and be like, "Sorry, the espresso machine is down."
Oh
And then the
no.
table next to them
Next
like
to
sent a cappuccino.
Yeah, yeah.
gets like
Like
six.
my coworker is like making other cappuccinos. I'm like, oh yeah, no, it started working again, but have a good day. Or I would also lie about like almond milk was really hard to foam, at least for me. So I'd be like, oh, sorry, we don't do almond milk.
I'm
Like
dead.
this is so terrible. I'm I can't believe I'm admitting this, but yeah, I fully lied about those things because I was just stressed and scared.
It's stressful and scary.
Yeah, I'd
Like
never
we've
served
been there.
before. Yeah.
We fully have been there with the lies and the stress and the scares, so we get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still have nightmares about working at Starbucks sometimes.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Jason.
I can imagine. I would
Yeah.
get so scared about opening wine for people, which I can open wine bottles, but under pressure in front of the table,
Oh my gosh.
there was
Yeah,
a table where
same.
I broke two of the corks
Back to
because I
back.
was just back to back. And then so I was like, okay, haha, third time's a charm because I would just like try to be charming to like make things work. And then the cork went in the bottle the third time. and,
Yeah.
and then so I had to ask my manager to open wine for me. And then my solution was like whenever someone would be like order a bottle of wine and not a glass, I would get a coworker and be like, hey, I'll give you some of my tips if you go present their wine and open it for them and pour it for them. And I'll like, just give you a pool of my tips. So that
Oh,
That's
was my way to get through it.
That's so funny. What Jason and I worked in a restaurant together for quite some time, and one of our coworkers used to go to the server station and say, "Hey, please open this bottle," and then I'll bring it. So she
that
wasn't
was
even
me.
like, "That was you."
I'm sure I did that a couple
Oh,
times.
I'm talking about Allie. Shout out to
Oh,
Allie. She used to be like,
Yes,
"Please open
Allie.
this bottle," but like it was like a not that fancy, so it was ultimately okay that she wasn't like doing the whole presentation, but that's pretty funny.
Right.
I think everyone has like a little trauma with the wine bottles.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
stressful.
I'm glad you
Stressful.
get
Especially when
it.
you have like 14 people looking at you.
I
It's
Yes.
know. I know
hmm
for sure. And if you have like a shitty opener that doesn't work, it's like negative, negative, negative.
Right. I'm used to the ones like with it kind of looks like arms that go
Yeah.
up and then you press it down.
I
You
love
know?
those. Yeah.
Me too, but we weren't allowed to use those in the
Nope.
restaurant.
You gotta
We
use
had to
that
have a
little
wine
screw. Yeah.
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 Wine key. I said a screw.
key.
Okay, so the restaurant was your favorite. Was
Definitely my favorite.
the roommate matching your least favorite, or do you have like another least favorite survival job or like a terrible survival job story you can share?
Yeah, I guess the roommate matchmaking was the least favorite because I felt like bamboozled. Oh, come in.
They can come say hi. Tell them
Sorry,
to come say hi.
that was one of my castmates handing out Valentines, which is so sweet.
Oh,
Her name
that's
is
so
Larkin
cute.
Riley. She's incredible, like truly wonderful, and giving out Valentines because it's Valentine's Day.
That's
It is
sweet.
So
Valentine's Day.
I have to
Shout
circle
out
back
to
to her.
Larkin.
Shout out
Yes,
to Larkin
Larkin.
Riley. Thank you so much for coming by. My dresser might pop by, and it's like he just has to, butts with some costumes. So
Tell him to come say hi.
This
This is what it's all about. It's like the exciting of preview week. It's what happens.
Yeah, Tech Week right before previews. Everyone's
Yeah.
getting the last minute touches together. So yeah,
It's
but
exciting.
anyway.
It's so Broadway.
Broadway. But yeah, so roommate matchmaking, I felt like a little bamboozled into being a real estate agent. I was like, I'm not prepared for this. But
I can't with that.
a terrible survival job story was I was doing dog walking, like on WAG, the app.
Oh my
And
gosh, yeah.
there was this one dog that just like wouldn't want to come, and the owner said that she had a bad back, the dog, and I was like, okay, like I'll get the harness on, like be super careful. And so I'm being super gentle. Finally, I get this dog outside of the house. There's a little staircase. Oh, this is so terrible. The dog fell down the staircase.
Oh
And
no.
I panicked. I just like put the dog back in the house and just stayed with the dog and just like pet it and just like left after I knew the dog was okay, and I just like told told the owner, and that was the last dog I ever walked. I was so stressed.
You're like, I can't do this trauma anymore.
No, that was like the worst situation. I was like, did I break this dog's back? Like, I have no clue. So that I've never.
They're pretty durable. They're pretty. They can survive a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I started waiting tables.
What kind of dog was it?
Yeah.
I think it was like, I'm not good at dog breeds. Like, I never have a clue, but the corgis have the short legs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a corgi or like a mix or something like that.
I love corgis.
Yeah, they're so cute.
And their little butts be like.
Yeah. But never again. I have a cat. I'm great with my cat, and that's really it for me.
Cats are independent.
They are, and easy with our lifestyle as artists. So
right, you can get that like automatic feeder. My friends have this automatic feeder for their cat that like they can record their name and be like, Kitty, like feeding time.
Yes, my friend has that too, and I really want to get one.
Yeah,
because you can talk to them.
Yeah,
which is so cool. I can be like, Lemon.
Yeah.
Lemon is the name of my cat.
Lemon.
Be like, Lemon. Or sometimes I call her Lemony Snicket. Like many different types of like nicknames that I have for her.
Oh, that is so cute.
Oh my
so yeah,
God.
I gotta get one of those automatic feeders. That'd be great.
Wait, when's your birthday?
September 13th. I'm a Virgo.
Oh my God, it's my best friend Sierra's birthday. Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta get him a feeder, someone out there for September 13th.
Hey, BroadwayWorld, if you're listening, BroadwayWorld, can you fund the feeder? Thank you.
Right. Thank you in advance. It's also Bella Swan's birthday from Twilight. Like not Kristen Stewart, but the character Bella Swan. Yeah.
I love that
do you feel connected to her?
I do. Like, I really think those movies are so fun. I've never read the books, but the movies are just a hoot to me. So
such a hoot.
Yeah, I have a great time watching them.
I was definitely Team Jasper growing up.
Oh,
Jasper,
Jason, that's a good one.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I mean, like, I loved Alice because she's just so like weird and like frivolous, and then badass. Yeah, and also you know that this is gonna be a lot, but you know that that scene where they're playing baseball and she's like, she has like a full botma to throw. I'm like, a botma? She's like, ah. It's so wild and incredible and just like the perfect amount of camp for me. So I love the baseball scene. It's so good.
It is so fun. Those of you who are
she's like, she's like kicking her face to pitch
you
that
just
ball.
kicked your face as well.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt a little bit because I'm not stretched, but we'll worry about that later.
Thank you for the demonstration.
I got really excited.
I loved it. It was perfect.
And I was gonna say, those listening to the audio, you gotta like tune into the video now because Jordan did a whole demonstration.
Yeah, watch the video. Oh Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that. I love that little sidetrack that we went a little Twilight run there. But back to Bad Cinderella. Congrats again. And would you mind sharing a little bit of the process of sorry, I can't see my question here. Great, Samantha. I totally ruined that. Let's take two. What was the process for like being part of the original cast of Andrew Lloyd Webber's newest musical? Did you like have to audition? Did you get multiple auditions and callbacks?
Yeah, I definitely auditioned. I think they asked me to come in person, and I was in Philly visiting my family because I had just finished Hadestown. And I was like, that was so crazy. I want to just be with my family. So I was like, no, I'm not coming in. If you want a video, I would love to do a video. But I've been like, that whole year, I was like, family, I have to prioritize my family.
I love that.
Because it's so hard sometimes in this business. So I was
Where's
like,
your
okay,
family from?
Philly. So luckily not far.
Yeah.
So when I go home, I try to leave work and just go home. But I was like, I'll even make that exception. Like, I'll do a video if they're down for that. And they were. So then I got back to New York and they were like, come in. I think I did maybe 4 or 5 callbacks, including chemistry tests with different Cinderellas and with Linetti, and which was really magical because it was just so clear. When her and I got together, I was like, I love her. She's so cool. And I had known of her for a while, and it was funny because someone that she had played opposite with was in for Sebastian, and someone that I had played opposite with was in for Cinderella. So I was like, oh, they're pairing us up based on chemistry from other shows. And I was like, oh, it's going to be Linetti and that other person, or maybe me and this other person. So I was like, it probably won't work out. And then it was both of us, and I was like, yes! So that was super cool. And come in. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. A Valentine. Everyone here is so sweet on
That is sweet.
Oh my gosh, you gonna open it?
Should I think it's from. I'll open it as I tell the story. I'm using a nail filer as a letter opener.
A letter opener. That works.
But yeah, so then we got it, and we did a little workshop, like a week-long workshop, with just a few members of the cast, go over script changes. And then I had met up with Andrew a few times to just like go over possible new songs or reworking scenes from songs. Oh, it's from Tregony. She's so sweet. She's so wonderful. She's in the ensemble.
Tregony.
And she covers the queen and the stepmother. It says, "You're waffly sweet."
That is so cute.
So cute. And there's a little dark chocolate bar here.
Oh.
This cast is really the best. Like, everyone is so nice, so down to just like have a great time and spread love, which is such a blessing.
Isn't that like also what it's all about? We do it for the art, but like for the community as well.
Yeah, we picked something that is so fun and what we love to do. So let's love to do it,
Yeah,
for
sure.
But yeah, so anyway, and then so I'd have these like one-on-ones, or maybe me and Linetti with Andrew and the music team about, reworking songs. And then we started rehearsals like months after that. So all of this time, like the workshop and working with the team, like still we were keeping the secret. Like no one can know where I am, like where I'm going. And so then finally right before rehearsals, they announced it. And then we started proper in the rehearsal room, which was just super exciting.
That's
so Broadway.
I was going to say that is so Broadway. You're like, and then we went with Andrew, and I'm like,
I know,
so iconic. Like that's huge.
Yeah, it was really wild because he's so casual about who he is. Like he was in my auditions, and I didn't realize like they were like, oh, like Andrew's gonna be here, and I was like, oh, like that's probably like an intern at Ty Rubin or something like that. Like,
I'm dead.
Cool. Like, because back then I was like Andrew Lloyd Webber, like you say the full name. So when they're just like, oh, just Andrew, and now after working with him, like I'm not gonna call him Andrew Lloyd Webber every single time. Now I refer to him as Andrew, and I see why that confused me the first time. I was like, oh, just like some guy Andy, you know. But he's like that. He's so casual and so chill, and often doesn't realize like the stakes of like walking in to like sing for him. He's just like, yeah, we're just gonna sing. And I'm like, okay, like freaking
Wow.
out.
For
Yeah,
Andy
yeah.
the intern.
Yeah, good old Andy.
Good old Andy.
Good old Andy.
So that's just been really wild but fun. And yeah, just like making this show with the cast. This cast, as I said, is just so special. And Andrew, his like big thing is he's like, let's just have fun doing this. It's a fun show. Let's all have a good time. Theater is back, you know, we're out of shutdown, like, and everyone is down to clown. Like the comedians in this show are
Down to
ridiculous.
clown.
Yeah. And I love it. I'm just learning so much. So I feel very blessed with this process.
Oh, well, we can't wait to come and see it. And by the way, we don't know anything about this show other than, you know, the
I
little like
know.
Instagram snippets. And so can you let us, as well as our listeners know, like give us a little pitch on why we should all go get our tickets? And also, what are you looking forward to the most upcoming in the run?
Wow. What I'm looking forward to most is really, like I said, making people laugh, making people feel good, and also for people to see this show and this story and be inspired by Cinderella, the character, and by Lynette as a person, of like standing in your power of being who you are and not shifting for anybody else. And even if you do feel like, oh, I'm succumbing to pressure from society, finding your way back, because we all do. No one is perfect. And it's like, I'm 100,000% myself all the time. Like, we are always pressured in some way. So the journey of also finding your way back to who you are and standing true in that, I think is so important. And the way Lynette does that is so magical, and because it's so authentic to who she is. And same, we have an alternate for Cinderella, Savvy Jackson, who also has her own very specific journey with Cinderella, and the way she
Yes.
finds that is really, really beautiful. So getting to do it with them both is also like such a cool experience. But yeah, I think that that journey that she goes on and inspires my character to go on as well. I'm so excited for the audience to see that, for young people to see that, and even for non-young people, like older folks, to reflect and to, you know, there's never a bad time to be like, am I being truly authentic to who I am right now?
Yes.
All while having a good laugh and seeing these beautiful things, and you know, just like having a great time. So it's super fun.
I love that. That's so amazing. I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh, your energy is so infectious.
Oh, thank you.
You're literally
Yeah.
so nice.
I know.
I'm like just smiling. I'm like, wow, what a nice.
Thanks.
Your face
Oh,
is
that's so
hurting. I haven't
sweet.
stopped smiling the whole time.
It's funny because everyone in the show is very mean to my character. Like no one is nice to Prince Sebastian except for Cinderella.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and this cast is so nice, but hearing that, I'm like, oh shucks, I'm about to go through 2 hours of like getting yelled at. So thank you.
Of course, of
Maybe
course.
I needed that.
Well,
No,
in
but everyone's
addition,
really wonderful.
yeah, I can tell. In addition to the upcoming Bad Cinderella, we've had many awesome credits, including Hades Town and West Side Story. But has there been a time in your artistic journey where you wanted to quit? If so, what was that moment like, and what kept you going?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely wanted to quit.
Mm.
The pandemic, as many of us, I think, went through, of like, is art really for me?
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, just like thinking that it's never going to come back kind of makes you, in a way, grapple and almost heal with the fact that it's not coming back, and justify why you don't want to do it. Is that was my experience. I can't speak for anyone else. But I
Yeah.
found myself being like, it's not going to happen, at least not for a while. And subconsciously being like, well, what are the reasons that I don't want to do this? And like, why will it not work out for me? Oh, I didn't mean to get emotional, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a scary thing to think about, because when you love it so much, um, you know, like you don't always get to do it. It's such a a privilege. So those times were hard, and also coming to terms with the business side of what we do was really difficult for me. In many different instances in my career on Broadway and outside of Broadway. Um, and so just like learning that the art is one part of it and the business is another part of it was really difficult for me at first, until I realized that like I'm an artist and a business person at the same time. And I had to learn how to be a business person so that it didn't affect me so much and I didn't feel so um, unprepared uh, to for the business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Linetti went to business school, so she knew all about it, and I had
Yeah,
no clue.
yeah.
I was singing, dancing, and acting in school, which prepared me for a few things, but not for everything. Um, but luckily, I've worked with a lot of really wonderful people and people who have been in the business for a long time, who have taken me under their wing. Um, Specifically, I just want to shout out Amber Gray because she is someone who really carried me,
Mm.
specifically in Hadestown, but just throughout. And Grace McLean does that for me here. She plays my mom in the show, and you know, these really wonderful women who have just seen me as this guy, like still figuring things out on Broadway, and being like, you know, I can help, you know,
Yeah.
so finding these relationships has been such a blessing, um, and yeah, I'm just very grateful for for that, and especially in times of being like, I don't know if I'm meant for this, or I don't know if I can do this or continue to do this. The sense of community that is in this field is something so special and makes me so emotional. It's really a blessing.
That's
Oh,
so beautiful.
I know.
And it is so true. This is hard. Jason and I talk about it a lot on this show, especially our journeys and our feelings of ups and downs. And you need the people to hold you up, right? And that's how success happens, when you're surrounded by positive people and people who believe in you.
Mm,
Thank you for being
yes.
so open with that. That's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Thank y'all
So,
for for
And I
asking.
think it's important to hear that at every level, right? No matter if you're on Broadway or if you're just starting out, community is always so important. I always say, like, finding your tribe is like
mhm,
integral to your success. I feel like,
mhm.
because it's kind of hard to do it alone. It's much easier to get burnt out and to
Yeah.
not keep going without people uplifting you, like you said.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think impossible to do it alone too. Like no matter what anyone says, I
Yeah.
think I think you can't do it by yourself. And in thinking of that, someone else like Eva Noblezada, she's someone who speaks up so much about mental health in this field, um, which I appreciate, and it's helped me with my own journey there, and helped me feel like I can speak up about it, and not everything has to be like, oh, I'm on stage, or oh, I'm in my dressing room, and it's like, or
Right.
I'm in my dressing room like having a hard time, you know.
Right.
Um,
Mm.
it's not all glitz and glam, and sometimes it is, and it's wonderful, but also we are human beings and we are all going through things. So I think the more people that shine a light on that, and she is someone who very much does in this business, um, I think is a great thing, and I think will help help our field keep moving in the right direction and in an honest direction. So yeah, I
Love
just wanted
that.
to just put that in there as well.
Yeah, and that's so important, especially for a lot of our listeners to hear, who are, dreaming of this life and the journey, to hear that it's not all peaches and cream, that you'll have
Yeah,
survival jobs. And even when you are at a level as yourself with, intern Andy, there's still the struggles.
right.
And it's okay. And it's
Yes.
okay. And it's
Yeah,
all a part of it.
it is, and it's a beautiful journey. You know, looking at the highs and the lows, there's beauty in all of it. So yeah, I just feel very blessed, and I hope that the listeners hear that and they're like, yeah, because before Broadway or before success in the arts, there are highs
Mm.
and there are lows, and in survival jobs,
Mhm.
there are highs and there are lows. Like I have felt just as high at my survival job as I have on an opening night of Broadway, but also just as low. So I think we gotta acknowledge both. So thank y'all for creating the space where we can talk about this.
Thank you for being so open. We love that. Jason and I are suckers for some inspiration and some deep talk. So we love when we get to go a little deep, right, Jay?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm tearing up over here. Thank you. I'm so cheesy. Thank you, though.
So, Jordan, I know that you've been so busy in rehearsals and just inhaling Bad Cinderella and Andrew Lloyd Webber's music, but is there anything else right now that's feeding your soul creatively? Any shows, any books, any new albums, any songs that is like fueling your art?
Yes, there are so many. I mean, I just did well, not just did, but a bit ago, the drama podcast, which shout out to them, they're awesome. And I talked about my favorite artist. Her name is Jensen McCrae, and she's a singer-songwriter, and her music inspires me so much. And I write music as well, and I really look up to her as a musician, as a songwriter. So whenever I can, I throw her on just to be inspired. And when I do have the time to write my own music and sit down or tinker with songs that I've already written, I just feel like myself again a bit. And yeah, as far as music, that's what is like fueling me and fueling my artistry. But I do have a favorite book that I keep rereading it over and over again, or like listening to the audiobook on my way to work, just because it's like a comfort book for me. And it's Circe by Madeline Miller. And it's about Circe, the Greek goddess, and who appears in the Odyssey, but it's told from her point of view. And I don't know, I really love mythology, and Madeline Miller has this beautiful gift of like retelling mythology through a different lens and through this female lens. And I find it incredibly powerful. And they're making an HBO series based off the book, which I'm so excited for. Also, like trying to manifest like to be in it, like that would be such a dream.
That's what we do on this show. We manifest.
Yes. So HBO, if you hear me, please, please. I love mythology of any background. So I'm just like such a nerd for it. So that's really fueling me right now. And yeah, anything mystical, I just find so fun. Which is why like Hadestown was such a blast. Like I was like, oh, I'm just like vibing in this like mystical thing. So that was cool.
I love that show. So that was the last show I saw before the pandemic.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I saw it on my birthday. My birthday's like in January, so I remember going and I was like, that's my thing for my birthday. And that fed me in the early days of the pandemic, to be honest, that music. So
yeah, it's so cool. It's such a beautiful story. So yeah, hoping for this HBO series, like whether I'm a part of it or not, just like I'm excited either way for Circe by Madeline Miller, who also wrote Song of Achilles, which I'm a nerd about that too. Yeah, and other than that, I just try and like take walks or do puzzles. I mean, like it's all a little boring, but I love puzzles.
I love puzzles too.
Yeah, so I just try and chill with my cat, do my little puzzle. She just watches me, or sometimes like we'll gnaw at the pieces, and listen to my audiobooks. And I don't have much time to cook. Like I really like to cook, but I take all day if I'm gonna cook a meal. I want to like go to the grocery store, pick out the ingredients, put on some music, chop the onion slowly, like, so hopefully once we're open, I'll have time for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything that just like brings me back to myself. And usually it's like reading, writing music, and doing puzzles.
That's beautiful.
That. Yeah. Cool. So I was doing a little research on Bad Cinderella, and I didn't want to see any spoilers. So I was like trying to be very cautious, but I was looking at the cast and it looked so diverse, right? There's so many people of color like on the website under the cast and creative. So my question is, to tie this all in together, is do you have any advice or like maybe any ideas of how Broadway could be even more inclusive to performers of color out there, as someone who's a person of color?
Yes, 100%. I think one, producers need to produce more works that of writers of color. you know, and not only produce that work, but advertise it and market it, not only to the normal Broadway, you know, like the formula for however they market Broadway shows, but to a community that the show is reflecting. I feel like we've seen a lot of closures of Broadway shows lately, and a lot of them have been about people of color. And I feel like if we really advertise to those communities and lift up those communities and make it accessible for them, then we can have more representation and more color and more diversity in general in the new generation of performers, because who goes into performing without being exposed to it? And if you don't have access to seeing art and seeing theater, then, you know, you're most likely not going to pursue it. So I think accessibility is the biggest thing. And it's something I want to learn more about as far as the business and how to make that work, because I know that Broadway is a business, and there, you know, you have to sell a certain amount of tickets and how much money, but how can there be a way that we make it accessible and still allow it to survive financially, so that we can have more diversity in every way, on stage, backstage, behind the table, on the producing team as well. And I feel so lucky that my cast is a diverse cast, and, you know, we celebrate that and we feel wonderful about it, but there's always more work to be done. So
snaps.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future, because I think we are always making little steps, and I'm excited for, you know, when every now and then there's a big step and some more little steps, more little steps. So it is a journey, but it's a journey that I'm here for, and that I hope to, you know, help be a part of and a leader of in any way that I can. So
you already are a part of it, so that's beautiful, and just keep it going.
Thank you. And, you know, like a fun little anecdote, I ran into Paolo, who and I can't believe I'm blanking on his last name, but he played the prince in Cinderella, the Brandy movie.
The Montalban, right?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. That's like my favorite version of Cinderella.
Me too. Until now. Until back.
Yes, exactly.
There we go. But I ran into him at a restaurant, and it was really such a magical moment, because he was one of those people for me, just as a person of color in general, and of course Brandy, but, you know, I've yet to meet Brandy, and I hope that happens someday.
You will.
But, you know, being Cinderella's prince and seeing that cast of Cinderella in that film was such an important thing to me as a kid.
Same, yeah.
And so being a Black Cinderella's prince, I was like, you know, like, you were the first prince of color that I've ever seen, and Brandy is the first Black princess that I've ever seen. That was huge to me. So running into him in person and getting to talk to him and tell him what that movie meant to me, while doing our version of Cinderella with two leads of color as well, playing Cinderella and the prince, was the coolest thing and the most full circle thing. And I, like, totally cried, and I'm, like, trying to hold back tears now, but yeah, it's just, I think I think the universe was just like, hey, like, you're doing the right thing, like, I'm just gonna put you in this situation with someone that you watched on TV as a kid, who is doing what you're currently doing right now, who did what you're doing right now, showing little kids that you can be of color and be a prince and be royalty. And
yes,
it was just really just pure magic, that moment. And he was so kind and so sweet. So thank you, Paolo.
Oh, he seems like the sweetest person. I follow him on the gram too. So.
On the gram.
Yeah, I have a picture with him. I've yet to I'll post it at some point.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, he's really wonderful.
That's a really beautiful moment. I'm so happy that you got to have that.
Yeah.
Like, life is weird. The fact that the universe put you in the same spot as him randomly at this time in your life, like, while you're doing this, is so cool.
Yeah. What are the odds?
What are the odds?
Yeah. And he was like, I know you're the prince in Cinderella. And I was like, I'm the prince in bad Cinderella. I know you're a prince. I'm your bad prince. All right, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I did the little kick. For those who can't see, I did the kick.
Your kick, your kick when you were demonstrating the Twilight scene was excellent. I know we already said it,
too.
but that kick was iconic.
And I'm gonna
Jordan, you're iconic.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank y'all. What a great way to start the day and to like go into this dress rehearsal for the show. Like I'm gonna go in smiling so much.
So thank you for spending Valentine's morning with us. That's so awesome.
Oh yes. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for having me and happy Valentine's Day. And you both are waffly sweet, as my dear Treganu gave me this Valentine.
Well, I'm not sure if we told you, but we do play a really quick fun game at the end. So we're not going to take up too much more of your time.
Ooh.
If you have like 4 more minutes for us.
Oh my goodness, I love a game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got plenty of time.
We love to bring it back to keeping it fun and giggly.
Yeah.
Yes, the clown, right? Down to clown.
Down to clown. Oh, come in. We're playing a game. Come on in.
Come on in. Come say hey.
I'm doing a quick podcast. This is one of our SMs, Alfredo. Do you want to be on?
Hi, Alfredo. You're on BroadwayWorld.
On BroadwayWorld. And just gave me a Valentine. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
I love that. I'm so jealous.
So many wonderful Valentines. Everyone's so nice.
You're going to have like 1,000 Valentines all over your dressing room.
Yeah.
Okay. So in honor of Bad Cinderella and fairy tales, we're going to do a little fairy tale trivia game. There might be some multiple choice, some non-multiple choice, but it's only 4 questions and a bonus. So do you have your competitive panties on?
Oh, you know it. You know it. They're on. I can't tell you them, but they are on.
Even I wasn't ready for panties.
I'm down to clown. Come on.
Yes. I love it.
That is so good.
You want to take the first one, Samantha?
Yeah, I'll take the first one. Okay.
Cool.
Number 1. In the story of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, how did the evil witch poison Snow White?
Boom. An apple. A poison apple.
Correct.
Oh, I'm feeling confident with this one.
And Snow White goes into a deep sleep after eating the apple. But I just want to let everyone know I'm allergic to apples, so don't try to give me any.
Oh, now
so you're basically Snow White.
I'm basically Snow White.
You're a princess too.
Thank you.
All right. Question 2. The character of Maleficent appears in which fairy tale?
Sleeping Beauty.
Oh my gosh, 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Yeah. I love it. I told you, I like anything mystical, and so fairy tales is great.
Maleficent is the evil fairy who curses Sleeping Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. In the classic version of Cinderella, how many stepsisters does she have? This is multiple choice, but do you want the multiple choice or do you want to just go for it?
I feel like it's a trick question because I want to say what we're all thinking. I'm going to trust that. I'm going to go for it and say 2.
Correct.
Okay,
ding,
great,
ding.
great. I was like, are y'all trying to trick me? Okay, great. Yeah.
No.
Okay. And the last one before the bonus. In the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, which of these items is not an item Jack stole from the giant? So A, a bag of gold, B, a harp, C, a sword, or D, the goose?
Okay, luckily I played Jack and Into the Woods once, and I don't remember anything about a sword, so I'm going to say he did not steal a sword.
Ding, ding, ding. Jack used an axe to cut down the beanstalk. Look at you.
Yes.
4 for 4.
I love that show too. Into the Woods is so good.
That's great.
Okay, and here's the bonus, which
obviously don't need.
Which of these fairy tale characters loses a shoe?
I'm gonna have to think about this one.
B, Belle, C, Snow White, or D, Cinderella or Bad Cinderella?
Oh, Cinderella and Bad Cinderella. Wait, did I give anything away? Yeah, no, Bad Cinderella. There's a shoe moment too. So if I wasn't supposed to, I gave it away.
Boom.
But yes, Cinderella.
I mean, I don't think you gave anything away saying like maybe she loses a shoe because it's like unless you know.
Right, there is a shoe in our version.
Yeah.
Is it a Louboutin though? Is it a Louboutin? No kidding.
It's a hot shoe. It's really. I mean, the costumes, they're great.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
So
Well,
yeah,
congratulations, you killed the game.
Thank you. Honestly, I listened to Renee's episode, and she got all of her questions. So I was like, I really got to nail this game. You know, I got to step it up. So I'm relieved that I got them.
Her game was kind of hard, I think.
It was a finish the lyric.
Finish the lyric from a variety of shows she had been in.
Yeah,
that was a hard
and you know
one.
what's weird? On my way here this morning, I was like listening to West Side Story and Hades Town and like Neil Diamond, like A Beautiful Noise. I was like, all right, I know these lyrics. Like I was prepping for finish the lyric.
I'm dead. Well, Jordan, thank you again. Would you let everyone know where they can find you on social media if they're not fans of you yet, so they can become a fan of you after listening to this?
Oh yeah, I am only on Instagram, and you can find me at Jordan Dobson _. Yeah, and that's me. I'm just on there. I don't do Twitter. Twitter kind of scares me. So
it's a common theme.
Yeah. So
it's like
I'm just on Instagram. Yeah, it really is.
And then Facebook is like
Yeah, no, I'm like Facebook is just like my family. Like I just go on like just tell my aunt like, oh, I'm in this show now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And she tells her friends.
If you want to sell
just find
something.
me on Instagram.
Yeah, if you want to sell something.
Marketplace.
I sell an air conditioner on Marketplace, so some prayers. Selling an air conditioner in February.
Someone will buy it. So
yeah. And if you guys are tuning in because you're a Jordan fan, as you should be, and you don't follow us yet, follow us on Instagram and scary Twitter at Survival Jobs Pod, on Facebook at Survival Jobs Podcast. Shoot us an email at survivaljobspod@gmail.com. Follow my boy Jason at Jason A. Coombs. Wait, I'm trying to point to you, but I'm having trouble.
It's always backwards.
Okay.
And
that just took me way longer than it should have. Follow my boy Jason at Jason A. Coombs, and you can follow me at Sammy Tuts. Jordan, this was such a beautiful episode. We can't wait to see you shine and kill it in this show. Congratulations. Tell intern Andy we said hey, and also tell the lady we love her.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I will
give Lady a big hug for us.
Yeah,
definitely will. Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So did we.
Seriously, the best Valentine's Day morning.
Best Valentine's Day morning.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.